let's get to the heart of the matter tonight, everyone. And it's about the security situation in the country. With a letter from former President Olusegun Obasanjo. Well, the Senate President is asking that there should be a security summit in the country, where the main opposition party, the People's Democratic Party, has asked President Buhari to declare a state of emergency on the security situation in the country and act urgently on former President Obasanjo's letter. The call was made in Abuja today by the national chairman of the PDP, Mr. Uche Secondus. And former President Goodluck Jonathan is also calling on the federal government to create a separate agency that will handle the security challenges facing the country, which it believes have reached an alarming rate. It calls for a collaboration between the federal and the state government to address the incessant killings in the country. But President Buhari is affirming that his government will continue to place priority on ensuring the safety of lives and improving security in the country. The president believes that those criticizing what he describes as isolated cases of insecurity in the country are not patriotic. He explains that there are new challenges of banditry and kidnapping around the globe, and Nigeria has made significant progress in fighting the scourge. The president said security remains its top priority, and that the successes recorded in degrading terrorists in the northeast will be extended to various parts of the country experiencing the challenges. Well, the open letter written to the president by former President Olusegun Obasanjo is generating a lot of controversies. And these reactions, coupled with the recent attacks in some parts of the southwest Nigeria, has gotten a lot of Nigerians talking. There are different dimensions to this letter, and we shall be breaking them down for you. Hear what the president did say today. President said, if you cannot secure a country or institution, you cannot manage it. That is the perspective of the president. Let's get talking, everyone. Let's get started. My panel tonight, a former presidential advisor, because as it is now, the climate in the presidency over the issue of security needs some experience to know what is happening and how the president needs to tackle it. So we're getting a former presidential advisor, Mr. Akin Oshintokun. He joins us in our Lagos studio. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. And from our Abuja studio, also we need to gain from the experience of an expert in criminal justice system and the professor of criminal justice system and penology, Professor Usiji Mendana. Thank you so much, Professor, for coming on tonight. Let me get your take, Mr. Oshintokun. The atmosphere that we find ourselves in the country, the kind of responses that we'll have from, for example, the PDP leader saying there is a need to declare a state of emergency. We hear also that there's need to declare a security summit. A former president, Goodluck Jonathan, has also said that there needs to be a separate special government agency to tackle the issue of insecurity that we are facing in the country. Don't forget, your former boss, President Olusegun Obasanjo, written an open letter, and he said, look, situation must change. What are your initial thoughts?
When the president sent it, he said they are all unpatriotic.
He said those who are politicizing it.
What do you mean politicizing it? Who are you to determine who is politicizing it?
You think there are no people, there are no persons who are taking these
but since you know
for political advantage?
Tell me who is.
No, I'm asking. He's the president who said it.
Listen, listen. Look, that is his own interpretation, according to his own convenience. In any case, if people are commenting on issue, how does that amount to politicization? Look, go to those people who are the victims. This kind of cruelty, this casual detachment from people is getting out of hand. We are not talking about inanimate objects now. We're talking about people, a 93-year-old man, having his daughter, the second daughter, shot down at that age. And somebody, you are commenting on it, and people are calling you names. Look, this country has gone. When he was attacked some years ago.
You mean President Buhari?
Yes. Did people not talk? Did people not raise issues there? He doesn't have problems about that. Should people not have talked? Now we want people to be quiet because
you have a
problem
with the reaction of the president, isn't it?
That is the of course.
But do you have a problem with those who are taking political advantage
who are
of
the people?
Situation?
Who are the people? Name one.
You know, government, when you're in government, there are a lot of benefit of knowledge that you get because you're in government.
See,
there are things that you see that average people do not see.
Yeah. Oh, I see. So if there are things that, how has the security situation become unmanageable? If we are so on top of the situation of your government, how has it degenerated to this state? The chief of army staff was saying some weeks ago that soldiers were deserting, running away from the front. That is not a concern. That shows a security apparatus and government that is in control of the situation. Look at Zamfara State.
We understand that.
A
source in the presidency told China. Just a moment. I just want to ask you this, Mr. Oshitogu. A source in the presidency told China's television earlier today that there has been an order to the security chiefs that they must meet immediately and articulate a position based on what the former president Olusegun Obasanjo did raise in some of his fears and the open letter that he wrote to the president.
A source told you that?
Yes.
Well, I don't know. I'm not privy to it. Was it on record or was it?
No, we have it on authority.
Okay, fine, but that contradicts what the president is saying, because you see, I don't even know to what extent it's valid to refer to what is happening as isolated cases. What is isolated in something happening all over the country?
Is it all over?
The Zamfara is there. You heard about Katsina State. You heard about the same Akure, where the former secretary of the government of the Federation was kidnapped. The same place. Look, are they isolated?
So you think the president is not handling things properly? Is that what you're saying?
Well, that's a platitude. That is not only the economy. This is not only the security situation with the economy, of course. This president won election since February. How many months ago is that? 5 months. Yet to constitute his cabinet. Repeating almost the same thing people said. And he said, look, I'm going to appoint people that I know. If you're going to appoint people that you know, then what is the delay? And then somebody will come and say that you are unpatriotic for saying that.
All right. Let's ask Professor Osuji Medana on some of the issues that have been raised, some of the worries of former President Olusegun Obasanjo. Professor, what is your take? The manner in which the president has approached this matter, the issues raised by former President Olusegun Obasanjo, and generally some of the reactions that we've gotten to as of today.
Asheun, is unfortunate. We politicize everything. My colleague there was saying that we are not politicizing issues. We are politicizing everything. To the best of my knowledge, President Olusegun Obasanjo is a member of Council of State. If really there is no politicization of this issue, he would have discussed this issue in the council. That is one. And I could remember vividly what BBC published on the 7th Thursday, I think, October 2004. 50,000 people killed in communal clashes during Obasanjo's regime. We are not talking about that. I thought that my colleague is here to discuss the issue, maybe the remedy to this issue. When we talk about security, it's everybody's business. And I think if we can do that, we can help the country. Not just maybe trying to be a disinterested but benefiting party in the insecurity situation in the country. This is an issue that the world over is facing it. Let me just refer you to what is happening in Cape Town, South Africa. You see what is happening there just within some months. 3,000 people killed in gun violence. What the country is doing, they are not going to media to politicize it. They come together to provide solution. How do we tackle it? Even the arrest that was made in the case he mentioned, Akin mentioned, I think arrest was made. Let's give kudos to those people that arrested the people. Shown today, if a criminal decided to come to this studio where I'm sitting down, no police can stop him here, inside here. What you blame the police is inability to arrest that criminal after he has committed this, the issue. So let's discuss how to solve this problem. How do we go about it? We have to review our criminal justice system. Some of the deterrent measures we have taken, they are not doing well for us. So let's come together. How do we solve the problem? That is the issue, not politicization. Even our football team has been politicized. Go to Facebook and see, or any other social media. You will see how the ethno-religious issue has come into our team, saying, oh, this, the other side of the country produce only 2. This is the issue. And most of the people that talk, politicize this issue, let's see. There were $2 billion that got missing or shared, that is armed funds. Those people, Fani Kayode, let me mention name. Fani Kayode was one of the people finding the issue of kind of inciting youth
let's take it
against each other.
Professor, just a moment. Let me pause you for a moment. We'll take a moment, but when we come back,
As a criminologist.
Let's take a moment, please. Mr. Ochendoku, just a moment, because we will look at some of the suggestions made by former President Obasanjo and some of the issues raised here and some of his worries and avoidable calamities that he said are looming. God forbid these things happen. We'll look at it critically when we come back from the break, everyone. Join us. Looking through some of what former President Olusegun Obasanjo said, you heard some of the suggestions made by former President Goodluck Jonathan, and you also heard what the president did say. Look, there are pockets of these issues. He said there are progress being made, and we're dissecting the perspectives of some of these issues. Do we need a security summit? Would that be an answer to the situation? My partner tonight, Mr. Akin Oshintokun, a former presidential advisor, and from our Abuja studio is Professor Osuji Medana, Professor of Criminology and Penology. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming on tonight. Let me allow you to quickly react to what Professor Medana said and what the president did say. These are pockets of incidents that have happened. Well, he did say that there is progress being made, and you heard what former President Goodluck Jonathan said, that we need technology. He inherited security situation also. Your reaction?
Okay, you see, let's disaggregate the issues. Assuming that some people are politicizing it, at least that presupposes that something has happened, right? You, as a president, what should you focus on? Is it those people who are politicizing it or the problem at hand? By his own definition, the Senate president is also one of those politicizing it. He is calling for an extraordinary measure. 2 weeks ago, the governors of the Southwest held a security summit. They are politicizing it. They made comments, people made comments. The immediate background to what has happened here was the so-called introduction of this Ruga or whatever it is. Look, the government by its own conduct keep this country in a state of permanent crisis. And then people will come here. He came here, I've never had such a politicization. If anybody is politicization, is the issue. And you can see his talking points. Started by talking about Obasanjo, billions of dollars, 50,000 people were killed. 50,000 people were killed under Obasanjo? Is that true? And then he's talking about politicization. He remembers something about Fanika and $2 billion. Yet, we are the one politic, not him. Look, this country, it's not, you are here, you have your conscience to deal with. And I'm sure, I don't know where you come from. Where I come from, people don't go to farm again. If you want to, I like traveling down to the countryside. I can't do that again. So for me, it is real. Maybe for him, it is not.
You are a chief in your hometown, and you are not. You have not traveled.
No. If I'm a chief, is
I'm saying that.
Bala is not the chief. Bala is your above his town. He was kidnapped twice. Yes, he's talking about politicization in the same town, right? So look, I mean, you don't bother. I mean, I'm not. I'm simply baffled.
Overblowing the matter beyond the measure in which the situation is in the country.
I can throw the question back to you. The Senate president is a member of APC. What did he say? Did he say this one last week? Is this not an extraordinary development? Look, hopefully this will pass. In future, when you look back at this period, you will remember certain events as markers. They call them markers. Significant events that happen, incrementally. Before now, is the security situation not so deplorable, warranting an extraordinary measure? Before the killing of the daughter of Chief Afashoranti, will you describe the security situation in Nigeria as not deserving? In any case, what did Obasanjo say in his statement? That any patriot, any non-politician should have issues with. What?
Let me allow the professor to come in. Professor, what do you think are extraordinary measures? It seems to be the general stance of everyone that there needs to be an extraordinary measure, extraordinary move to be made to tackle this insecurity situation in the country. Do you think that the security situation or the insecurity is getting really out of hand, perhaps more than the capacity of the government of today?
Sorry, Sheun. I think the speaker there, with his own point, he started with politics. That's why I responded to him that way. Let me tell him where I come from. my village was somehow ransacked by Boko Haram. We didn't come to media and discuss these issues. We didn't come to media and make noise. We didn't come to media and started blaming others. What we did, you heard of the civilian JTF. That is what we did and helped the security to get away or to get those people away. Let's come to the solutions of these problems. Security is what you know, who you know, not what you know. The more information you have on individual, the more accurate you predict their action. The more accurate you protect the society against the evil of such individuals. Nigeria, we have almost 200 million people. And crime experts says among those people, 5% or 10%, they have crime delinquency. That means we are thinking of almost 20 million people, they may commit crime or they may likely commit crime. Where you have 300,000 police workforce, what do you do is to recruit. And I think this government started recruiting 10,000, 15,000 and what have you. Then now, we have gone into smart policing. Even the country that adopted smart policing, we have seen crime rates. Let's take the crime in Chicago. You see how the crime rate is. So definitely, we need all hands on deck, not just to come and blame. When you blame people, you are weakening the system. Is to come, now you are giving those criminals, because you have even attached element of tribe to those criminals. So what you are doing, you are giving those criminals you are boosting their morale so that their tribes will come and start defending those criminality. So this is what I'm saying in a nutshell.
Let me ask this question, and I'll ask Mr. Oshintokun the same. Sorry, just a moment. Let me put this question because we need to round up the conversation. And I'll ask Mr. Oshintokun the same question. Former President Obasanjo has raised some suggestions about the way to go. And if you are to talk to the president, assuming he's listening to us right now, what would be that very important thing that you think the president must handle urgently? Is it a security summit, or to call the elders, as some of the suggestions of former President Olusegun is? Professor.
Please come again.
My question is, and I'd like you to quickly tackle it quickly. What would be your suggestion to President Buhari to tackle this security situation headlong? And would it be in line with some of the suggestions of former President Olusegun Obasanjo and that of Professor Wole Soyinka, that elders need to come to the table immediately? A security summit, is that a way to go?
Goes beyond that. Actually, the funding of the security, that is the police, first and foremost. If you look at their budget, their need was 300 and something billion. And I think 220 billion was allocated to them from 2015, and it has been increased. So you need to fund them. They have 7,000 formations in this country. And those 7,000 formations, you have to equip the police, training and retraining. That is one. Secondly, we have to look at, as I said before, we have to look at our criminal justice system, because the punishments sometimes are not very palatable.
And I'd like you to drop it at that, because I'll allow Mr. Oshintokun to also quickly give his intervention, and quickly, please, on what do you think the solutions and urgent ones must be?
The solutions are staring you right in the face. This man did not read Obasanjo's letter. You are showing it on your screen. How does these things, how do they amount to politicization? Collective thinking and dialogue, cohesion and concentration of effort and maximum force, political, economic, social, psychological, and military. Blame game among all forces must be avoided. All hands on. This is what this man is describing as politicization. Now, this shows the kind of the generation of this. He's a professor. Now, okay, assuming those of us in Nigeria were politicizing it, ask him if he has a single report from outside that says, that doesn't, ascribe greater grief. He keeps on talking about Chicago. Don't they talk about this? If any security situation arises in the United States today, you will know. It will be repeated on and on CNN everywhere. So they are talking about it is politicization. He's a professor.
And I sincerely need to thank you both for coming.
Come on.
Mr. Akin Oshintokun, thank you so much. Former presidential advisor, and Professor Osuji Medana, Professor of Criminology and Penology. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. Well, that's our show for tonight, and how much time can permit us to talk. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for watching. I'm Shion Kimale. Bye-bye.